Yo, 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 we live. I figure I'd come on real early so I can get as many people as I can in the beginning for this Facebook Live feed of me discussing how I started out in the music business. Time now is 6:59 Eastern Standard Time. And it's your boy, Jason Swanston, a.k.a. Jae Nasdaq, is what people know me in the music industry as. And yeah, I'm waiting. We have like another minute, so I'm just going to let people climb on. And everybody and their grandmother is probably going to chime in, hopefully. You know, Facebook is doing this thing right now. They're building my audience, you know. So, Corvell, what's going on, brother? Tiffany, I see you. Love you. Where all my people's at? So I'm going to preface this by saying this is a different type of live feed. It's going to be a lot of gut-wrenching stories and happenings that transpired in the music industry on the scale of me starting out to the scale of me starting to make money and then climbing higher heights in the business, you know. Jay, what's going on, brother? Salute to you, brother. How you? My boy Jay Riches. Yeah, man, so, you know, just for everybody who's watching, just sit back, relax. I'm going to open up the live feed for questions and everything, but I'm going to take you down a little bit of memory lane, you know. Hey, Renee, what's going on? Colorado, we in the building. Brooklyn, we in the building. Harlem in the building. Pennsylvania in the building. What's going on? Monique, she the truth. You know, Boston in the building. You know, hey Princess, how you doing? Evelyn, we in the building. I hope your son gets on. You know, big shout out to Evelyn's son, Josiah. So yeah, it's 7:01 people. Oh, big shout out to my sis, Cherie. She in the building. David, we in the building. Ohio's in the building. We're going to do a lot of shout outs tonight. I can see that coming. What's going on, Queen? You know? So, we in the building. Winsome, how you doing? And we're just going to keep it going. 7:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, ladies and gentlemen. This is your boy, Jason Swanston, aka Jae Nasdaq. That's what they call me in the music industry. I put this live feed together because I wanted to give kind of like a look into the music industry on how we came up, young people in the music industry back in the late 90s, and how we remain relevant and how we helped a lot of these artists go platinum and stay platinum, you know. Jasmine, what's going on? And so big shout out to Michelle Montgomery. A lot of the executives nowadays, they really don't, in my opinion, they don't go on these various different platforms and kind of drop gems. You know, they all want checks and stuff like that. Now, keep in mind, you know, people call me an executive all the time because I physically sat with the best of them during the beginning of my career in the 90s, only because I had a certain level of insight and a certain level of intelligence, you know. Of course, I'm going to have Biggie in the background. That's one of my favorite artists, one of the artists that really inspired me to get into this whole rap stuff. So at any rate, a lot of executives, they really don't, in my opinion, just like give back, especially the ones that really understand the game. The game has changed so drastically, the music industry this is. And so due to the fact that I was successful in terms of jumping from one label to the next label at the height of that label or that label's artist career, I was able to figure out various different ways on marketing an artist, different types of artists. Big shout out to Sarah Munoz. I was able to understand the various different dynamics and nuances, how the music business really worked, and the various different ways that people got money in the music industry. And once again, let me preface this this live feed by saying this is not an ordinary feed. So there's going to be some you know, words used, some street vernacular. There's going to be some profanity used. So just brace yourself. This is rated R. This is hip hop. You know what I mean? So big shout out to my brother Angelo Rojas. Let's go. You know, Avery in the building. So let me begin and let you guys know how I started out in the music industry. Well, a lot of people know that I am, I guess, computer inclined. I have a little background in computer science from just my mother being a data analyst and a computer scientist herself, and me getting into it. You know, I was able to say, you know what, this is something I wanted to really get into. And hold on, guys, I think Biggie's falling in the back. I try to get this backdrop. Yeah, there we go. Ow, ow, look. Yeah, there we go. You know, I gotta preserve the, you know, the ambiance in the back. So anyway, big shout out to Vision. Big shout out to Jennifer. Hey, Jen, how you doing? I see you, Lisa. Lisa's in the building. And so big shout out to Ron. We in the building. So as I grew up in a household where my mother and my father and just my whole family unit instilled, you know, computer science and just studying, you know, I was just the nerd of the hood. So, you know what, I was ostracized and all that stuff. And I really wanted to be a computer engineer. I wanted to build video game platforms. And so I started to do it. And next thing you know, when I got out of college, I had ran to ATL. I ran to ATL real quick because I figured if I could, because ATL was popping at the time, you know, you had social deaf and everybody. And we're talking about, guys, this is 1996. You know, I could go back in like 93, 94 in terms of my hip hop days, but I'm just going to take you from 96 on. So I'm in 1996 is the Olympics, you know, Muhammad Ali, you know, God bless the dead. He's running with the torch. I'm working as a security guard because I wanted to open up my own club in Atlanta, kind of like a futuristic club. And so I tried to get down with a couple of labels down there. But, you know, back then in 96, Atlanta, I'm going to have to hold this. Atlanta was just real different. You have to excuse me, y'all. My backdrop keeps falling. I don't know. Biggie, come on, work with me. Anyway, so long story short, with the whole Atlanta move, you know, it wasn't really working out. I got involved with some situations down there. Nothing illegal, obviously. It just wasn't working out with the people I was involved with personally, obviously. And so I came back to NY. I came back to NY in 96, and I stumbled across, you know, a graphic designer. Big shout out to, you know, one of my mentors named Zach Vaz. Zach Vaz, mentor, graphic designer. He actually was doing graphics for a lot of the major R&B acts like Melba Moore, Freddie Jackson, and he actually was working for a major label called Hush. They were a management company, excuse me, Hush Productions. They literally managed people like Melba Moore, you know, Charles Huggins, you know, big shout out to the Huggins family that put me on. And so Zach brought me in. He knew I had like graphic designing capabilities, and you know, and he said, you know how to do graphic designing? You know, well, I do graphic designing. You know, I said, well, okay, well, what exactly do you do in terms of graphics? And he was like, well, you know, I do photo retouching, photo restoration for album covers. So I was like, oh, that's dope. You know, like, that's neat. You know, I was like, but, you know, at this time, I'm just fresh off the plane from ATL. Obviously, I'm from Harlem, but I just came back from ATL. And I was like, you know what? Well, I'll intern. You know, I want to be part of something. I want to be part of the music thing. So I started going to seeing Zach, and at the office, at the Hush office. Right at that time, they were in Manhattan on 57th Street. Next thing you know, I seen the nephew of the Huggins, and he on the spot he said, "Yo, I want to hire you, you know, to do some graphics for us." So I said, "All right, bet." So I started doing some logos and everything, and I learned from Zach how to like photo retouch, taking away like the blemishes and the bumps and the bruises, and cleaning up the faces for the CD covers and album covers. So that at this particular time, we're talking about 96. This is like when Biggie was really popping. You know, it was a good time. And at that time, all the labels were so close together, meaning like you literally could walk, walking distance from Rockefeller to Bad Boy. We're talking about New York City, to Def Jam, and what I basically did was I stayed in my place over there at Hush. I started going I started going to a couple of parties. Mind you, I'm like 19 years old. I'm going to the party. No, how old am I? No, I'm 20. I'm going to the parties and everything. The club, Supper Club, was having big parties, and I started meeting celebrities like only R&B. This is before hip hop, like Melba Moore, Regina Bell, Patti LaBelle. It was just crazy. And next thing you know, people like, oh, he's so cute. What does he do? Oh, he does graphic designing. So next thing you know, I started getting jobs. And but I'm still, my allegiance was to the Huggins family, because they were managing Melba Moore at the time, and they were working Freddie Jackson, and I love Freddie Jackson. I love R&B. So at any rate, and I apologize, guys, if I'm not shouting everybody out. I'm just trying to get through my story real quick. Big shout out to Angelique, Sony, Christine, Denise. How you doing, everybody? And so when I was at the label, when I was at Hush, I was managing Melba and Freddie at the time. We're talking about, this is '96. I had stumbled across a couple of other good people who are still in my life, like Chris Cameron. He did a lot of. He was just like he's a big dog in the industry as well. And next thing you know, Zach was like, you know what? Well, I'm going to hook you up with some other people. And at that time, we didn't have Kinko's back then. We only had, we had service bureaus. No, we did have Kinko's, but there was a big service bureau, called CompuPrint. And that's where I really got my bones in terms of learning various different tricks to graphic designing. Big shout out to Marlena. How you doing? Andres, what's up, bro? And Jordan, how you doing, sis? And so next thing you know, he was like, I'm going to put you on with a couple of Jewish cats, and they're going to give you some work. And next thing you know, I'm doing graphic designing for a service bureau, kind of like a Kinko's, that was like outsourcing graphics work. And they physically was across the street from the corporate office for Hush, the management company for Melba Moore, Regina, and Freddie Jackson, And so next thing you know, I'm like, yo, this is dope. So I'm going back and forth, meeting people, meeting people outside the music industry and meeting people in the music industry. And I stumble across Mario, who was head of marketing at the time for Puff. And he was like, yo, Mario's from the Bronx. He's down with D Block now. He was like, yo, you do graphics? I was like, yeah, I do graphics. Big shout out to my sis, Sharon. We in the building. Bad Boy, we in the building. Big shout out to Raymond. And so, anyway, so Mario put me on, and he was like, "Yo, I want you to do graphics, like do some graphics for us, for Bad Boy, for Puff and everybody." Now at that time, people were still alive, if you know what I mean. Like Kim was popping, Total was popping, Craig Mack was popping still, And Mario was like, yo, I want to give you a shot. Can you do, I want to do a Bad Boy calendar. And I'm like, you want to like design a Bad Boy calendar? He was like, yeah. He was like, can you do it? I was like, of course. So back then we had like zip drives as graphic designers. And I remember getting a zip drive because I had to put all of the pictures that Super Mario bought me from Bad Boy. He brought it to my office because I had left CompuPrint and opened up like a little shop down on Spring Street. I had partnered up with another one of my mentors named Manny Jackson. He had a print shop, like printing press, and I was the graphics part and he was the printing part. So Super Mario was like, yo, we're gonna come to your office. So this is one of the stories, and then I'll get into the other stuff. So I'm like, all right, bet. So Mario comes down. He brings me all of these all these pictures of Total, 112, Kim, Big, everybody. I was like, oh, like I'm in there now. Like I'm like, you have to understand, I wasn't really in the family like that until, Mario like kind of pulled me in. And it was just like a surreal moment because, 1994, 96, I'm doing graphics. 94, I'm like listening to Big and, and doing parties, with my boys uptown, and Get Money just came out in the remix, so it was surreal for me. So now I got all these pictures and I have them on my laptop, on my desktop. And we down on Spring Street, and next thing you know, a guy by the name of June Balloon comes with Mario. Now, a lot of people don't know who June Balloon is on here. June Balloon, he started out over at Bad Boy as a street team dude. That's real facts. And he did his thing. He came up. He was over there at Cash Money, and he made his bones. So you could Google him. June Balloon's a big deal. But anyway, I was there. June Balloon came to my office with Mario, and we literally, guys, I had these two big dudes. And keep in mind, guys, this is hip hop, so I'm gonna use a lot of different words. So I had these two big niggas behind me, like you had Super Mario right here, and you had June Balloon right here behind me, and I'm on a computer like this, building out the actual calendar for Bad Boy, and for Bad Boy Records at the time. And it was so crazy because, we didn't leave my office on Spring Street for like 2 days, literally, guys. When I say 2 days, I'm talking about we were there. That's how hip hop was back in the days. We were literally like, working and like, we want this, we want that, like make this color, like let's do colors here. Like we were there 2 days straight, the whole weekend, banging it out because Mario wanted to create he wanted me to do a calendar. And so it was, it was dope, and next thing you know, I put the whole calendar on the zip drive, and Mario took it to go get it printed out. And that was my first like introduction literally to the music industry, like the rap industry, like real introduction, because in my next live feed I'll go into more stuff that happened, and I'll go into I'll probably put it in my book, but it was a good experience for me because I got to come to the Bad Boy office when they was down on 19th Street. I got pictures, guys, and next thing you know, it was like, I'm here. I get in the elevator, Mario and we there. June wasn't there at the time. I first came up to Bad Boy, and the rest just was like history. Next thing you know, I'm like going to parties. I'm seeing Big. I'm seeing Mace. I'm seeing Puff. I'm like, back in the old days, I call them old days, but we're talking about like parties. Wolf, who God bless the dead, who got murdered in Atlanta. Wolf was, Puff's bodyguard. I don't know if you guys remember Wolf, but his birthday party used to be off the chain. We just go to parties, and I'm like 20, just like. I remember going to parties in Soho where, Puff and Big, they throw a party, and I couldn't, like, I'm down, but I couldn't even get in. It was so packed. And Mario always, he was there. He was like, he'd peek out, yo, come on. And it'd be so crazy. So those were some of the good moments. I have a lot of good moments in the music industry. And that's basically how I kind of like entered the rap industry through that particular experience. And then from that point on, I was like, you know what, I want to do this. Big shout out to Idalme. Hey Lulu, how you doing? West Coast, we in the building. Preach, what up, bro? Preach, everybody. That's my boy Preach, ill MC. So after that, I was like, you know what, I really want to do this full scale. And so what I did was, because I was a graphic designer, I was like, you know what, the only way I could get in was let me create my own, my own newsletter, and because I had a graphic experience, I had met this kid from Florida named Jason. He had green eyes. I should tell him stay away from the girls that I like because he was just too pretty. Those pretty dudes. They got the green eyes. They look. He just came up and he was like, yeah, I want to do a newsletter and everything. I was like, all right, bet, let's do a newsletter. But I was the guy that was the graphic designer, so I had kind of a sense of where I wanted to go. And so I did the newsletter. It was called Needle Drop, and it was my version. It was my hood version of Billboard magazine. So what I did was I would go to all the clubs because I already had a little built-in relationship because of what I was doing with Bad Boy and what I was doing with a couple of other individuals. You know, I said, you know what, let me just go and create a newsletter, like just a newsletter, kind of like how Source started out. And I would track all the DJs. So that would be a way for me to get in, you know. And next thing you know, DJs was like, yeah, come on, Jay, come through, come through. So I would list their top fives, you know, their top fives. And I just want to put a picture up, guys. Now, don't mind the girl in the picture. Just look at the background, all right? So check this out. So this is me in the hood. This is back when I was down. If y'all can see that right there. So right here, this was the actual newsletter that I created, that I posted. Big shout out to David James. We in the building. You know, it's called Needle Drop. Yeah, there it is right there. Crazy. So that particular newsletter, guys, was my own hood version of Billboard magazine. And next thing you know, I was interviewing mad people. I interviewed Wendy Williams. She's the one that blew me up. Like, Wendy Williams blew me up on Hot 97. I know everybody want to talk shit about Wendy. Wendy put me on the map. You hear me? Like, the whole world knew about Jae Nasdaq, Needle Drop, man. She just, like, I'll never forget it. 1990, it was just like, yo. Because I went into Hot 97. I interviewed Wendy. Wendy was real tall at the time. Still tall. And I let her rip. I didn't no filter. And, you know, because we didn't have social media back in those days. So we kept we had to print out all of our copies. So what you just saw was, you know, one of the copies of the of my newsletter. And I remember, you know, my first issue with Wendy Williams, and I'll post that later, guys. And she was just like going in on, you know, all the gossip. If you know how Wendy get down. So I printed it. I printed out like 5,000 because I had the hookup at Kinko's, and I started giving it out at everybody that came out of the Hit Factory. Now, guys, the Hit Factory at the time was a big studio where everybody recorded right there on 54th Street between 7th and 8th Avenue in Manhattan. And 54th, 55th, yeah, 7th and 8th Avenue. Anyway, long story short, everybody would come out. You know, Mariah, Stevie J, everybody, Polk, Tone, Trackmasters, Beyonce. The list goes on and on. Not Beyonce, excuse me, it was before her. And, you know, Foxy, everybody. And I would give them the newsletter, you know, and of course Puff was there. So, you know, I had Wendy, you know, talking all this shit. And I would just give everybody the newsletter. And that just put me on the map even more. So Needle Drop, the actual newsletter, turned into now and later. So I went from, you know, one sheet to like a little fold out. I kept my copy, y'all, so y'all can check it out. See, Now and Later, Billboard of the Streets. Yeah, this is your boy. I did all this. Designed it all. As you can see, I had shout outs. Yep, the do's and don'ts, you know, mixtape, DJs, everything, you know. Y'all can see this is history in the making, y'all. So this is Jae Nasdaq. There you go. And on the back, I would do my top 5 picks, if you guys can see, you know, because I needed more room because everybody was like, yo, this is crazy. And I even had a fuck you column, y'all. It was crazy. This is hip hop. So if you guys, you know, you guys ain't used to profanity, well, this is hip hop. So I had a fuck you column. Everybody who wanted to say F you to somebody that was in the industry, they got to say fuck you. And that blew me up. And, yeah, oh yeah, check it out. See right here? See like this, boom. See, oh yeah, the fuck you column. Everybody loved that. People in the industry just loved it. They literally loved it. Biggie's falling. My bad. I love Biggie. And so people started copying my Now and Later newsletter and physically reprinting it in different countries. And that's how I started becoming really big. And next thing you know, my boy was like, yo, my boy uptown, Spanish dude, Debo, he's a DJ. He was like, yo, you know, put me on, Jay. Let's, you know, I need some work. And I was like, well, I don't manage nobody. You know, at this time, you know, I'm still doing graphics and everything. But because I watched how Mario and a couple of other cats were marketing, you know, marketing their artists, like Mason and everybody, they would have bodies in front of the club, you know, banging Bad Boy with bottles and stuff, and causing a ruckus. at events, especially at in-store signings, where the artists would be there and they would sign the autographs. I kind of like, I made a mental note on how to market, if I had an artist, and it was just a mental note. And so next thing you know, Debo came to me and he was like, yo, let's do this. So I said, all right, bet. So next thing you know, I had met a couple of people throughout my travels over at Universal Geffen MCA, but it was on some, graphic stuff. So then the next thing you know, I went down to, I was at a party, and at that time, Club Cheetah was real big. Jay-Z talks about it in one of his raps, Club Cheetah, the Club Amnesia, and his Give It To Me song. And we went down there, and, that's when Jay and Dame used to drive in their one Bentley, silver Bentley, that to be exact. And cats from Fubu used to jump out of their own Bentleys and go into Club Cheetah. And I ran into some people from the labels, and I said, yo, you know what? I got a DJ. Can you give us some vinyl? So because I had the newsletter already, cats were looking at me as a record pool. I was like, I didn't even understand what a record pool was. Yet and still, I did some work for a record, for some graphics for Kool Herc back in the days, and he was attached to a record pool up in the Bronx, a big record pool called Shore Record Pool. And record pools, guys, back in those days was really, really big. And so I went down to MCA Records, and that's when I met, who was still in my life, Charles Dixon. Charles Dixon, he's one of my mentors. He put me on the map. He was like, you know what, we need some people to really promote some of these artists off of MCA. So I was like, I bet. No problem, Lisa. Big shout out to Tro. What's going on? And so I was like, all right, no problem. Charles, big shout out to Charles. I'm sorry, guys. So I was like, big shout out to Tatiana. Big shout out to Rashawn, my bad. So anyway, let me keep going. So next thing you know, Charles Dixon over at MCA Records gives me a shot. He's like, I got you. He gives me these big stickers, He gives me these big stickers. Henderson, whatever. I'm not giving up the game. I'm just telling my story. Big shout out to Phil Pabone. Oh, we got OGs on this live feed, y'all. Big shout out to Alex. Next thing you know, he gives me these big like box of stickers, me and Debo, and he's like, yo, let's see what you could do with this. I said, yo, what I got more people. So Charles was like, yo, bring your people. I said, yeah, because at that time, street teams were only a thing within the record labels, like each record label, like Rock, Bad Boy, even SRC, Loud Records rather, Steve Rifkin's people, they had like little street teams. Two or three dudes, going out passing CDs, tapes, and posters, at high schools and colleges and in stores, whatever, And next thing you know, I was like, all right, I took the stickers and I took the box of they gave me tapes for Jizza, right? I forget it was for Jizza. No, it was for GP Wu, which is an extension of Wu-Tang. And next thing you know, I went back to the hood. I went uptown and I gave them out, but I took pictures and I wrote down names. I didn't know what I was doing. I just want to document what I did for them, And I came back to Charles and I said, Charles, we gave, I came back to him the next day with Debo and I was like, yo, we did it. We need more. We need more product. Because at that time, product was big. And Charles was like, I bet. So next thing you know, he literally walks us into his office where he had nothing but product. And now Charles Dixon introduced me to anybody who was important at MCA Records, including the vice president of Black Music, which is Hank Shockley. Big shout out to Hank Shockley. Bomb Squad producers, platinum producers extraordinaire. Hank is one of my mentors as well, and he was the big dog. He was the big cheese, And this is all before social media. This is right. So he said, yo, come back. I said, I bet. So I did such a good job. I just grabbed anybody. I grabbed all my niggas that came home from jail. I grabbed dudes that were in high school that wanted to get down. And next thing you know, I bought like a whole swarm of cats to MCA, Geffen, and Universal. Because the reason why I say Geffen Universal, because what happened was I did such a good job, I started getting referred to the other marketing people and the other labels. And I wasn't getting referred to like the peons. I was getting referred to the big dogs. Like, big shout out to Garnett Reed over at Universal at the time. Big shout out to, OJ Wetlaw at Priority, that put me on with Master P. Big shout out to all of them. And, Jay Prince, Rap A Lot Records, Ruthless Records, Eazy-E's wife, all of them. So next thing you know, they get, Charles and them, they give me all this product. So now I'm like, yo, all right, we're going to get rid of this. Next thing you know, he's like, well, listen, do you have a company? So now I'm by myself. I'm like, company? He's like, yeah, do you have a company where we can cut you your check? Because I'm like, I'm cash on hand. I'm a graphic designer. And I was like, okay, I'll go get a company. So at that point, I incorporated, and at that time it was called Swanee Promotions. Like my last name Swanee, like Channel 2 on Avnio, Swanee. Anyway, I incorporated whatever, and I said, yo, I'll be a marketing dude, and I have a record pool, because I still wanted to service the DJs, because I could get in the clubs and give them the vinyl, give them the CDs, talk to chicks, gotta talk to chicks, and invite everybody to the next spot. And next thing you know, everybody and their grandmother is just coming through. We're talking about Cash Money. We're talking about Erykah Badu. We're talking about, people just referring me from left to right. Yo, Jae Nasdaq. Oh, him? Yeah, him and his whole team, they popping on that whole grassroots marketing thing. Now, keep in mind, everybody, because I had a background in technology, I already knew that the whole Napster thing was really bothering people in the music industry, especially these executives. Because, yeah, they were selling records. Like, I did Mary's album, Share My World. I did 3 of her albums, Share My World, the tour album, and Mary. Long story short, everybody was scared about Napster, like fucking the game up. People were file sharing, big shout out to Jody. And, yo, what up, Strategy Conway? Next thing you know, they're like, how can we salvage, the record industry if people are sharing it? Because Napster is messing everybody up. So I said to myself, all right, I'm going to give up some of my gems to these executives. Big shout out to Roman. Russia, we in the building. And I kind of like carved out another service. And at this time, we're talking about, we're talking about the end of 97, the middle, like 98, beginning of 98. I'm carving out services for them. Like, listen, I know how to market your stuff online, but cats wasn't ready for that. They weren't ready for what we call back then digital strategy, which is now called social media. And this is why I'm so ill at what I do, because I understand behavior, and I understand how people move, and I understand consumers, and I understand different ethnic groups that love hip hop, because I had to study it. I had to explain to the dudes that made the decisions. Big shout out to God Bless the Dead, Heavy D, gave me my job at Universal Records. And I went downstairs because at that time, MCA, Universal, and Geffen, they were all in the same building. They were on each level. And then you had Columbia, you had a bunch of other labels, also offshoots. You had Allen Def Jam. And I would just literally be in the building, seeing all these rap artists come through and just shake everybody's hand, these R&B acts like Kiki Wyatt, Avant. And what I did and what I want to give to you guys is the, not necessarily the keys, but just the work ethic you need if you're going to do anything in life, especially in an industry that's very competitive. And at that time, hip hop was very competitive, whether you were an artist, whether you were a marketer, a street team dude, whatever. It was just so competitive. And I'm so competitive. I compete with myself first and foremost, but I'm aggressive anyway. So what I would do, I already know I had a team of at that time I had a team of 15 people. I ran, boom, boom, boom. I ran up on everybody. Like, I seen Kiki come in, I ran up on her. Avant, I ran up on her. Yo, what y'all doing? What y'all doing? Jesse Power, anybody, Wu to anybody. I ran up on him saying, yo, this is me. This is what I do. And they loved it. And I was like, they were like, yo, they were like, all right, that's what's up. I would go to the clubs. Like, back then we had so many clubs, man. we just had a lot of clubs, you know, Flamingo. It was just a lot. And that's when I met, I met Eminem, and I did a cipher with Eminem. But anyway, I'll talk about that at another time. And so the label mates, which were the other artists, they started seeing what I was doing. And I was smart enough to see who was moving and shaking within the actual offices and the industry. Oh, who's that? Who's that? And I would ask questions. I never kept my mouth shut. And guys, don't keep your mouth shut. Always ask questions. Always ask questions. All right. You know, charge your battery, Jody, if your battery's dying. Anyway, so I asked questions, and that's how I stayed relevant, and that's how I kept my money coming in, especially for me and my team. And quite naturally, you know, in the beginning, you know how it was. You worked for free, and then they started putting you on. Even though I had a business, I had to prove myself, you know, and I didn't mind proving myself. Big shout out to Gene, Orlando, we in the building. And so I did such a good job, and people respected that at the clubs. Because I had needle drop, I put the newsletter to the side because I got so busy and inundated with so many different clients, so many record labels. People were just referring me left and right. Yo, go to Jay, go to Jay, go to Jay. So I said, I bet. Who are you? Oh, you such and such. All right, I got you. You know, I would be hanging out all the time at Justin's, which was Diddy's restaurant at the time, you know, on 21st Street. 21st Street between 5th and 6th, of course, Street from Cheetah, you know. And thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. So I was like sitting there just watching everybody, watching Wendy Day. Wendy Day, you know, she's in Atlanta now. She's a big dog, you know. She was like, you know, she was the one who literally, this white woman literally got Cash Money their deal, you know. No bullshit. You know what I mean? She got them that $30 million. You know, I seen it. I seen them come in at Universal like, oh, you know, who is these Bama dudes, you know, but they got 30 million, you know. Next thing you know, I'm working that project. I'm working Lil Wayne's first album, Block is Hot. And so that's what kept me going. And I realized I needed more bodies because at the end of the day, I was getting so many labels hitting me up, you know, and Heavy D, and I was like taking pictures, I was giving reports. What kept me aside was I gave reports to all my peoples. They was like, yo, here, you know, and they was like, I bet we fuck with this kid. This kid is nice. And now, mind you, I'm 20, getting ready to turn 21. Now, here we go. And guys, you can share this video if you want, in real time. So I'm at studios, right? I'm at the, you know, like the Hit Factory. I'm at Sony. You know, I'm just, you know, artists are saying, yo, Jay, come, yo, where's the party at? What's popping? Da 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 da. I started establishing real rapport with the managers, like, you know, of R&B artists who wanted to be at the hip hop parties, and certain hip hop managers that was like, yo, what's going on over there? You know, with the R&B acts like Mary and all those guys. You know, like what's happening? What's happening with Erykah Badu? And I had an account with Arista, so everybody that was under Arista at the time, we're talking about Bad Boys whole, you know, roster of artists, as well as Whitney Houston, Usher. I did Usher's 8701 album. Everybody, I just bang everybody. I was just killing them. I had access, so people wanted to know what was going on. So I was, what the kids say nowadays, they say the plug. So I was the plug, you know, I was the connect back in those days, and it was cool, you know, working on by Nature's album, and I wanted to give a part of my stories to you guys, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of executives, there's a lot of people that have been in the game as long as me, longer than me, that just don't give it up. And I think that's real whack, because, you know, you're not going to catch me, you know, 6 feet under, and then everybody want to do like Behind the Music on Jae Nasdaq or Jason Swanston, or, you know, catch me, you know, sickly, and now you want to tell my story. No, I'm telling you my story now. I'm healthy, you know, live and direct, you know, and so, at this particular point, and I'm gonna speed it up real quick, guys. At this particular point, now I'm here. I'm here. I'm in it. I'm like, damn, I got 15 record labels. I got access to 15 record labels. Yeah, I got 15 record labels. Now I got clothing lines coming to me. You know, big shout out to Phil Pabone. Y'all see him on the feed, Phil Pabone. That is the true OG. Big shout out to Phil Pabone. You know, brother did everything, met everybody. You know, started a lot. And here's a picture real quick before I begin. This is a picture of me at a party that we had thrown. This is me at the age of 21. I'm talking about the time period of me being 20, but this is me at 21 with my with Kevin Garnett. I'll see it up in the Bronx at Jimmy's Bronx Cafe. I don't know if you guys remember that. And that was me at Jimmy's Bronx Cafe. And we had did a big party for Mary J. Big shout out to Kirk Burrows, Mary's manager at the time. Crazy. I got to call him. But anyway, that's another story. Everybody, all celebrities came out. And people started asking me to help them create, you know, like little after parties because people trusted me. So at this time, I'm turning 21 and I'm like, damn. I'm like, I got all this. This is getting stressful. Big shout out to Jose Morales, you know. I need more bodies. So I shut Swanee Promotions down and I launched Wall Street Promotions Marketing and Distribution. And that's really how I got the name Jae Nasdaq. And I realized I only had I had, big shout out to Alan. I only had like about a couple of guys and a couple of females down with me. And I was like, I need more people. So I copped a office on Wall Street. It was a woman, you know, my boy, his mother, she was like failing, her business was failing rather, and I already was up. I already was making bread, you know, so I was like, you know what, let me just take it over. And he wanted to get in the business because, you know, he didn't know what he wanted to do with his life, but he wanted to get in the business, so I attached him to it, you know. Estrella, hey, how you doing? But no, we in the building, Harlem Stand Up. So I was like, you know what? Let me get this office on Wall Street. Now, guys, we're talking about this is 1998. Yeah, 1998 and 98, 99, I think. And I'm turning 21. I got the office on Wall Street. Bow. I need more people. So I go back uptown. I'm playing ball. I meet this little kid. He not little. He was taller than me. And Detroit, we're in the building. Big shout out to Daryl. Cheatham, sorry. And next thing you know, I say, yo, we need more bodies. So I brought, his name was Jums. You know, everybody probably knows Jums. And I told Jums to come down because at this time, Jums was already working with me, you know. And this one I was living on 148th. No, I'm lying. I still was living uptown, further up. Anyway, Jums was like, yo, I got you. So I said, Jums, go to Manhattan Mall, right? And just recruit mad niggas. Just recruit mad people, everybody. Just recruit mad niggas, you know, and chicks. Just recruit them. He was like, all right, bet. I was like, yo, I gave him a piece of paper and like a sign-up sheet. And I said, yo, just sign up mad people. Just like, yo, you know, this is what we are. And I told him to make us, you know, I told him to like, you know, say that we were a club. And at that time, I was Jae Nasdaq. My company was Wall Street Promotions. So I had to like financially theme it because, you know, in hip hop, you got to have like a movement, a theme, a name, you know, kind of like Avnio. So I said, yo, let's be SPCNY 500, which stood for Street Promotions Club of New York 500. So if you guys know about the stock market, you know, there's a system called S&P 500. So my goal was to get 500 kids, 500 employees to work for me because I had 15 record labels. Angelique, thank you, sis. So I said, damn, I got like 15 record labels. They're all hitting me up. And then we're talking about not just record labels on the East Coast, but some record labels on the West Coast. Because they had, you know, East Coast. They had their offices on the East Coast. So Jums went. One of my soldiers went to Manhattan Mall, recruited mad people. And he recruited 60 people. Long story short, he recruited 60 people and came back. And I said, okay, call him up. Because I had the office crazy lit. Called him up. It was like, yo, come down. We got free CDs, tapes, and posters for you. So kids was like, word? And when I say kids, I'm not talking about just like teenagers. I'm talking about my sales force, my marketing force rather, was between the ages of literally 13 to 33 years old because people wanted to be down, you know. people wanted to be down with anything hip hop. So the 60 kids came down, and I made them pay us to get down, because at this time now, I got Def Jam, I got Bad Boy, I got Rough Riders, I got so many camps that I'm getting product from. It was like, why not? Mr. Ramos, how you doing, brother? And next thing you know, those 60 kids gave us $20. So out of the $20, I gave it to Jums. I gave it to people, you know, and that's how I created a like a multi-level marketing type of engine. And those 60 kids went out, and I'm not giving the game up, because the game is different now, so it don't even matter. It can happen. You guys could do it again, but anyway, it's different now. The game is different. And so those 60 kids went out and did the same thing that Jums did. Brought Mad Cats back, and every week, like Wednesday and Saturday, my office, which was on 80 Wall Street, which is the oldest building on Wall Street in New York City, was flooded with people that wanted to get down, you know, with No Limit, Cash Money, Rockefeller, Mary J, boom, everybody, Usher. I had some stuff. I was doing some stuff for Virgin Records. I had all the Janet Jackson shit. It was just crazy. It was retarded, you know. And my core crew, my core young kids that was down with me since day one, before I started Wall Street Promotions, I would get them in the club. So they like 15 years old. Strazzy Conway, he know what I'm talking about. You know, he on the feed. Get in the club. We in the club. We at Club Tunnel. I don't know if you guys know Club Tunnel, but if you guys are true New Yorkers from back in the days, Tunnel was the shit. You know, that's where Funkmaster Flex started out. Sunday nights, it was called Gangsta's Paradise. Wu-Tang used to come 50 deep. I was there. I seen it. I seen a lot of beatdowns. And that's hip-hop. That's what real hip-hop was about. And so those 60 kids in 3 months turned into 1,200 people. And now I got 5,000 pieces of anything product. And here's the product, guys. This wasn't MP3 downloads. Look at this, guys. These are tapes. I don't know if you guys can see it, but these are tapes. This was GP Wu and an artist off of MCA. I'm just showing you. So we would give these out to people on the train and high traffic locations. You know, it was crazy. And we would take pictures like this. So I would give this in to the executives. Crazy ill, you know. And then we would post up stuff, you know. Post up stuff. Like we did Mobb Deep. We did stuff for Aris, Anointed by Nature, Nature's Fury. Stickers, everything. We posted up. And, oh yeah, Timbs and hoodies for real. That's all I wore was Timbs and hoodies. And we would post it up and we would take pictures. So by me having literally like 10,000 pieces of product from all different record labels and all different artists, from albums to mixtapes to snippets, because mixtapes were really big back then. When I worked for Rockefeller, I did the marketing along with them, you know, for a DJ Clue, Professional, a Mills album, Memphis Bleak, Coming to Age. Big shout out to Al Branch over at Rockefeller back then. You know, he gave me my shot. You know, big shout out to hip hop. Big shout out to Dame. You know, got stories. I still got stories. And big shout out to Hove. So that's what we did. So we just would give these out, you know, give these, you know, these products out. And here's a picture of us over at Universal. This is back in days. This is Debo with the white hat, and then Jums on over here. This is Jums right here. You know, if Jums sees it, he's gonna laugh. But this is Jums who went out to Manhattan Mall and got me 60 kids that turned into 1,800 people. Big shout out to Jasmine. You know, Jasmine Vargas. You know, we promoted everywhere, all around the city. And then because I had so many kids and so many street team cats, my services were always needed. And then I started going back to the label saying, you know what? I got a whole crew of people, kids that are online. Now, this is the beginning of social media, for me at least. I said to the record labels X, I was like, yo, we on AOL chat rooms all day. We could talk about the album all day. And that's what we started doing. You know, I didn't have like an understanding of how much it was worth. So I just added it into the budget. And my kids were just on on AOL chat rooms talking to mad chicks all day. I had chicks talking to chicks, dudes talking to chicks in different states, Minnesota, everywhere, Nebraska, everywhere. Just say, yo, you heard about that China Doll album from Foxy? You heard about the No Way Out album with Puff and the Family? Boom, boom, boom. And they was like, yeah. Yo, go out and cop it at, your record store. Go request it on your the biggest rap radio station you got in your area. And so that was the beginning of my understanding of what social media is now and what digital strategy was. And I guess I was ahead of my time. And so cats were loving it, So at the end, I don't know why Biggie's just like, because Biggie, sorry, excuse me, Soraya is like, why is Biggie giving me a hard time? Biggie's cool. He's just, I'm talking about the times that he was alive. So he's moving. Biggie's moving. Anyway, it was just a good time at that time, and digital strategy was something new to people. The whole street team thing was really big, and I had the largest street team, literally, in New York City, spread all the way down to Miami and to parts of the Midwest and the West Coast. And the reason why is because I had so many kids that physically moved or transferred from either different colleges and high schools. So literally, because I was able to get all accounts, was this reason and this reason only. I had a representative in about 400 schools, 400 high schools here in New York City, and it was dope. So no other street team at that time, whether it was Rockefeller, Loud Records, were Pun and everybody over there. Big shout out to the whole Terror Squad. Big shout out to Pun and the whole family, BX. They really couldn't handle the influx of product like we could, because we had the bodies, and that's basically what really set me off. Now, I appreciate everybody listening to this story, because this is how I really came up, and I did a fantastic job by pushing all of these artists from 1996, 7 all the way up to 2003, working on 150 platinum artists. And what I learned, which is what I want to give to you guys tonight, is no matter who's doing what, whether or not they're doing the same thing you're doing, you got to be as aggressive as possible. You got to be as aggressive as possible, because where I'm from, and everybody knows there's no keeping it quiet. I'm from the block. I'm from the hood. That came up, and I learned 2, 3, 4, 5 different trades. At the end of the day, no matter how much you still have to have a level of confidence within yourself. You still have to have a level of passion. You gotta have passion. Like I love hip hop so much. I literally was balling out of control when some of the homies passed. Even not just the artists, but even the cast that roll with me. Or that literally gave me gems along the way. Like, big shout out to Dom. He passed away last year in August. He was D'Angelo's manager, like he gave me gems that I took and I use to this day, So you got to be very, very passionate about anything you do. And this is what hip hop taught me. That's why I'm so adamant and I'm so aggressive when it comes to, my culture. When I mean my culture, I don't mean just black culture. I'm talking about hip hop, the hip hop culture. I used to have cats literally in the just in the studio from London, Japanese chicks, because they loved Wu-Tang, be in the studio or come through the labels and not understand the culture of hip hop. And, I used to hear people scrutinize how, the culture of hip hop at that time was, with Lil' Kim with her legs open when she dropped her first album, with how they didn't understand that this is part of our culture, at the end of the day. And so I was like, you know what? I need to be a representative of that particular culture. And I need to check anybody that comes up and says, well, I don't want to be like that And I'll tell everybody at this particular point in time, because between 1997 all the way to 2012, when I stopped really working really hands-on in hip-hop, doing Lil Wayne stuff and a bunch of other people, in the rap and the R&B world, at the end of the day, it's like you gotta let people know, listen, hey, you're not doing it, you're not right. This is how it goes down, especially if you know the facts. And the reason why I'm here today is because I'm opening myself up to you guys. I'm not charging you, because I don't believe in charging. At the end of the day, it's like, you're not going to take this, I'm not going to take this information and try to make millions and millions of dollars off of it, because, at the end of the day, I have another skill set, and I think that there's a lot of artists, the problem with a lot of music artists today, and a lot of people that want to get into the music industry don't truly understand the essence of work ethic. You have to have a very strong work ethic. You can't rely on social media to blow you up. You have to get out there. You have to work. Yeah, we got a lot of haters out here nowadays because people live vicariously through their phone. So they're looking at people, how they post on Instagram and how they post on Facebook, and like, oh, okay. Oh, her dress is whack, or his hat is turned to the side. I don't like it, so I got to hate on him, And that person could be, doing their own thing. But people hate for no reason. And you literally can't let that deter you at the end of the day. If you're an artist or if you have a record label, you have to physically go in. And what I mean by go in, you have to eat, sleep, shit, breathe, throw up, vomit, bleed, whatever. The brand, your brand, you. I didn't get so successful to work for 150 platinum artists because I was shook. I was a shook one. I was scared. I wasn't, that's right. Davina said, go to the venues and perform instead of just social media. She's right. She's right, but that's just one portion of it. You got just one portion of performing. If you can't perform because they hating at the club, the promoter is, or the DJ, then get on social media and perform for 500 people or 50 people. Get it popping at the end of the day. It's up to you. So you have to understand that nobody's going to give you anything in this world. You have to go out and take it and go let people know where you're coming from. I tell a lot of artists, at the end of the day, if you're an independent artist and you want to do what Chance the Rapper did, or you want to do what Macklemore did, you have to have some type of work ethic. You got to have a whole concept of no sleep for 3 hours. I mean, no sleep for a couple of hours. You can only sleep for 3 hours and then get back up. You got to have that money. Macklemore and Chance the Rapper had that bread. They had that bread. You have to have that money. You have to be on some, I got money, but I don't have all the money. I got to go and maybe get a job, maybe get 2 or 3 jobs to pursue my dreams and my goals. When I was running around with everybody in the industry, the reason why I was so sought after was because when I saw DMX, I ran up on DMX. Yo, what's good? This is what I do. What's popping? I see him at a party. I ran up on him. Because at the end of the day, he was my demographic. I was going after artists. I needed to let the artists know that I was the big shit. I'm working Mary's album. I'm doing Wu-Tang. I'm doing, you feel me? I'm doing No Limit, No Limit. Master P's album went 4 times platinum. Come on, I'm part of that. You know what I mean? I'm doing Ice Cube's album, the War and Peace album. Come on, I went platinum. What are y'all talking about? So you got to know me. I seen Maxwell in the club. I'm running up on Maxwell. Why? Because who am I working for at that time? I'm working for Boyz II Men, doing all their marketing for their clothing line called Groove. So at the end of the day, it's like, yo, you have to know your worth, and you have to get off your the mindset of this is going to come to me. It's not going to come to you at all. You got to go get it, man. Straight like that. No chaser. You got to go get it. I win and I got it. if you have, yo, whoever's calling me, y'all know I'm on Facebook Live. Stop calling me, man. That's crazy. Stop calling me. I have to block these people. Anyway, you know, at the end of the day, like Damien said, the hunger is real, you know, and I had the work ethic from the music business. And as I transitioned from the music business of marketing these platinum artists and being a part of marketing projects and initiatives for these platinum artists, as I transitioned into, you know, the Hollywood scene and managing people, and, you know, the rap community came back to me and said, yo, we need talent for music videos and everything. From 2003 on, I was like, you know what? I had the same work ethic. So now I got talent. I'm like, yo, I got the best talent in the world. I don't care about him, her, or anyone else who had a talent management company at that time in 2004. I had the best, and that's how I came at this particular game, and that's how you guys have to come at this game. If you got a record label you're about to drop, if you got an artist you're about to drop, if you're an artist and you dropping your stuff, you gotta let everybody know. If somebody's looking at you cross-eyed, you walk up to them and say, yo, what's up? How you doing? This is my album. Bow. Or, yo, you got SoundCloud? Yo, this is my SoundCloud. Check this out. You know? So, at the end of the day, that's what it's going to take. You know, I got a tech company. My first project is my cable TV site called Avnio.tv. You know? Yeah, there's people like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Fire Stick and all these other TV companies that are doing what they do. I could give less than a flying, you know. Why? Because at the end of the day, they're not doing what I'm doing. They're not. You know, they can't do what I do because they don't have the experience of going through various different trials and tribulations in my world. Because my world is different from Mark Zuckerberg's. My world is different from Steve Jobs. My world damn sure is different from them niggas at Snapchat. You know, and that's just real rap. You know, it's just different. So when you see Avnio, it's, you know, it's a maturation of my creativity. You know, big shout out to Liza. We in the building. Florida, we in the building, you know. So at the end of the day, having an Instagram account, having a Facebook account doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you're going to get some type of credibility. What it basically means is that you're just keeping yourself relevant. You know, thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. You know, Soraya, thank you very much for shouting out Avnio. And if you are an artist and you're getting some views on YouTube, please, guys, study the way you put your stuff on these various different platforms. And don't study it from a standpoint of, oh, I'm an artist, let me just throw it up there. Let me throw it up there. And then hopefully, and just put some tags on it. Let me hashtag Beyonce, hashtag, you know, twerk, hashtag, you know, whatever, hip hop. And then everybody's going to come see my video. Nah, you gotta figure out and just think, like, how is the other person on the receiving end is going to see your brand and see your product? You know? Because we're in a whole different space. We're in a whole different space. You got to sell records. You got to learn how to sell records. You know, this is me at the age of 21. Look at that. Right in front of the building. Bow. I keep it real grimy. You see that? We had the police gates on the building uptown. Yeah. You know? See me with the cell phone? Yeah. You would think I was pushing weight. I wasn't. I was talking to the record label executive. Little did they know, you know what I'm saying? That your boy was keeping it hood. You know, look at this. Yep, Pele, that's right. You know, look at this. This is my office on Wall Street. You see all them posters? Those are all my accounts. It's a little blurry. You have to excuse me, guys. But you see that? Bow. Those are my kids. It's my staff, my workforce. You know? Look at this. Big shout out to Big D, the weatherman, over at Universal. This is me, 21. I had an account not only with record labels, I had an account with clothing lines. Like I said, Groove, Cybertech, Varsity Clothing. I don't know if you guys remember Varsity Clothing, you know, because I had so many bodies. Parties, crazy. This is Trey Lee. I don't know if you guys remember Trey Lee from By Storm. They out of Philly. Did a big track with Big. You know, this is me at 21, killing it. You know, at the end of the day, it's like you have to be ready. Stuff we did for Mariah Carey. You see that? Mariah Carey, boom. You know? Big shout to Hank Shockley. This is the guy in the gray sweater. That's Hank Shockley right there. Bomb Squad. Legend right there. Producer. Also was the vice president of black music for MCA. He was getting paid all the checks. See that guy right there in the gray? Hank Shockley used to come pick me up from the hood where you saw, right? Hank used to come pick me up, right? And have me listen to singles that they were picking to drop on the radio stations for the artists over at MCA. I kid you not. He used to come pick me up from this building and say, yo, does this sound hot? Does this sound hot? And I had to realize at the end of the day, yo, I got another service I can offer. You know? Consultation. You know? So, and I have pictures of me at Arista and just a bunch of stuff, you know? Yeah. So it's like, here's an ill picture. I used to run around with bandanas on my head. You know, this is a money bandana, y'all. Ain't a blood bandana, it's a money bandana. The guy next to me, you guys don't know who he is. You know, I think he still has his dreads. This is Tony Shellman right there. I did a party for Tony Shellman. If you guys don't know who Tony Shellman is, Tony Shellman was one of the designers over at Mecca USA, the big clothing line back in the days. That's my man. And he then transferred and got bread from Fila, you know, the sneakers. Boom, they gave him wild money. And he started Nietzsche, E-N-Y-C-E, Nietzsche. I don't know if you guys remember Nietzsche, but that's Tony Shellman. I was doing parties for him, you know, and that's me at the age of 21, and, you know, and it was crazy. So at the end of the day, it's like, you know, you got to know what's going on. Here's me hanging out. Well, this is in Soho. When Missy was blowing up, I got my own pair of Missy goggles. That's the day I met Marilyn Manson's group Dope, you know. Yeah, Marilyn Manson had a group, you know. It was crazy. So, you know, this is just like a lot of, this is one of my favorite pictures, y'all. This is me and Lynn Whitfield. The reason why this picture is this is June 17th, y'all. June 17th, 1999. Yeah, June. This is a party for Mary J. The reason why that picture is so special to me because Lynn Whitfield, I love Lynn Whitfield so much because I saw a thin line between love and hate. And I went through something similar to that when I was living in Atlanta. And Lynn Whitfield was the woman I was dealing with. Lynn Whitfield, you know, obviously the woman I was dealing with was like the character that Lynn Whitfield played. So when I saw Lynn Whitfield come into the party, right, I said, oh, that's Lynn Whitfield. Because, you know, I had a crush on her because, you know, I could relate. So I ran up on Lynn, and she was with her I think she had an African husband at the time. I gave him the camera. I said, listen, homeboy, listen. I love me some Lynn Whitfield, you know. And I was like, I don't know. Okay, that's your wife. Okay, good. Like, I need to take this picture. She thought I was cute. You know, she's like, you so cute. I was like, I know. I need to take this picture. And then my cousin at the time, look at him. He's all fucking cheesy. You know, he cheesing and shit. He photobombed. I couldn't even get myself together. I'm 21. Like, oh my God, Lynn Whitfield looking so great. You know, she is a great actress. You know, I was pissed. Look at him. Look. This is before Snapchat. I mean, Instagram photobombing. This is how people jumped into the picture. See my cousin? He was like 6 foot, like 7 inches. And he had to kneel down. I was like, come on, man. You ain't fly to me. I was the one who bagged Lynn Whitfield for the picture. You know? Crazy, right? So I got more stories. But who didn't have a crush on Lynn Whitfield? And she's a great actress. You know what I mean? You know, so I just wanted everybody to know who's listening. Thank you very much for sharing my videos. Thank you very much for listening to my stories. I want you guys to understand that, you know, it takes a village to raise somebody, a child. It takes a village to raise a child. And that village that raised me in the music industry was literally 15 record labels worth of cats. That's why I can come out with Ovnio and come out with a cable TV site that has everything you want in it if you're an artist or if you're a consumer to get what you want at the end of the day, because I understand stuff, you know? And big shout out to Tatiana Sims. And the Village really raised me. I mean, like I said, I have a bunch of stories. I want to open up the live feed now to anybody who has like any questions or inquiries. You know, I'm not going to go into too many stories because I could be long-winded, you know, but you know, if you guys have any questions you want to ask, you know, I'm here. I mean, I will say this, where the hip hop industry is today, and I'm not shitting on, you know, the rap that's out now. You know, I think that it is a chapter in hip hop. It is a chapter in hip hop, you know. Cats like the Three Amigos, they are part of the hip hop movement. Even Young Thugger, as ignorant as he may sound to someone like, you know, cats that come from New York, you know, I like Young Thugger's music. Honestly, I do. Now, quite naturally, I deal from a different perspective. You know, him wearing the skirts and doing all this crazy, you know, throwing up on stage and all, you know, whatever. I mean, that was designer. But the point is that, you know, I like everything that hip hop has to offer, because you guys got to look at it like this. You're looking at a guy that pushed that mumble rap that we talk about today. I pushed that in 98. I was looking at Master P's music like, I'm pushing nah. I'm pushing this. Niggas shitting on records. Sound like they're shitting on records. I had to take that to the DJ. And that shit went platinum. But you know what? That was part of hip hop. You know? I remember when people were mad that Eminem was a white boy coming out spitting. But you know what? That's a chapter in hip hop. You know? And he spoke he came up. Lyrically, Eminem is nice. You know? So I was like, you know, at the end of the day, I'm looking at all the comments, guys. I see you guys, you know. You gotta realize that history will take its course, you know, and if you really are about that hip hop life, you will push hip hop to the point of no return. Whatever hip hop is to you, you push it, you know, but don't, in my opinion, don't shit on what everyone else is doing out here, you know, because at the end of the day, they're still going to do what they do. Just you do what you do. If you like all the old school hip hop, you know, from 1974 when hip hop was born, a lot of people don't know that. Hip hop was born in 1974. I know because I did a lot of work for KRS-One. I promoted the hip hop school up in the Bronx. You know, if you like hip hop from 1974, then like hip hop from 1974. If you like hip hop, you know, from 2016, then like hip hop from 2016. At the end of the day, don't shit on it. Just let everybody know this is the type of hip hop I like. You know, because the cats down south and the young kids today, they understand Young Thugger. They understand 21 Savage. They understand the Amigos. They understand Designer. You know, I understand it because as old as I am at 40, I understand what they want. I understand what they need. I understand, you know, how they move. And that's what keeps me relevant. And that's what keeps the hip hop generation. I mean, that's what keeps the hip hop movement going. You know, we're gonna have artists there are artists in South Africa right now, like my boy Roman, you know, hit me to, that literally got tracks that sound like it was produced by French Montana and Drake's people. I was like, wow. But that's a chapter in hip hop. And we have to submit ourselves to the idea of different creatives coming out. Because if not, we're just going to be stagnant. I personally don't want to keep on hearing, you know, some of the same stuff over and over and over again, you know. So at the end of the day, it's like, yo, you got to just embrace it, you know. So if you want, like Davina said, you know, she says she wants music to be her permanent job. If you want music to be a permanent job, guys, you know, you got to study the industry. And if people aren't letting you in the industry itself, they're not letting you in the offices, or they're not picking up the phones, you run up on them. I ran up on Dame Dash with 30 niggas. Niggas could deny it. I don't give a fuck. I ran up on him. Why? Because I wanted it. I had 40 people run in Arista to get my accounts because I wanted it. I ran in a meeting with Loud Street Team with 60 niggas when they were pitching Nike, and I got it. Why? Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to give you anything. Nobody gives a shit about you, okay, unless you give a shit about yourself. And I care about me. I like living. I don't know about anyone else, but I love living. I love looking like, $500,000 trillion. And, I love being around people that look good and doing what I love to do. And whatever it is, I love doing it because you see me cheesing all the time, period. So you got to have that same type of mentality if you want to keep on climbing that ladder of success in any industry, So thank you, Idalme. I'm trying to pronounce her name right. Thank you, Soraya. And if you guys have any questions, I'll open up the floodgates right now. Guys got any questions for me? Hey, Lisa, am I a motivational speaker? I guess I am. Well, if I'm motivating you guys, then please get off your behinds and get what's owed to you. You gotta look at this. You gotta look at life like this. You don't have to. I'm suggesting. Excuse me. People owe you. That's why you gotta look at it. Like, all right, I need that $1 million. Somebody owes me that $1 million. Hey, Cherie. Big shout out to Cherie. Cherie Johnson. Hollywood, we in the building. You gotta look at it like that. People owe you. I ran up on everybody. I didn't care. I seen him in the street. I used to drink 40s with Old Dirty Bastard in Staten Island. Literally on Bay Street. Because Wu-Tang had their office up the block. Word. At 19 years old, I'm drinking 40. Go. Old Dirty Bastard. Let's go. And then the last time I seen Old Dirty before he died was when we did a music video for Beanie Siegel before he went to jail. And that's the last time I seen Baby Jesus, a.k.a. Old Dirty Bastard. God bless the dead. So, I ran up on everybody. I didn't care. And you guys got to run up on everybody. Don't just rely on social media, And don't listen to people that are not doing better than you. And if they are doing it better than you and they're saying some stupid shit like, oh, well, I don't think you could do it like this. You should do it like this. Especially if they old, and you know what I mean by old. Like I'm old, but, I understand certain things. You could tell you get in the pit of your stomach. Because I used to have cats that were older than me tell me stuff like, oh, you shouldn't do it like that. You should do it like this. Now, don't get me wrong. I listen. But when it wasn't working for me, I would go back to them old niggas like, yo, hold up. It ain't working, homeboy. Nah, it ain't working. Well, I don't know what to tell you, young blood. Well, you know what you need to tell me? You need to tell me that, try my own way. And then they would respond like, well, you should do it however you feel. So why you keep coming back to me was my response. Why you keep coming back to me saying I should do it a certain way? You're not helping me. You're not helping matters. So my point is, if you have older people, or people that have been in the industry trying to give you gems, that's fine. Try it. If it doesn't work, try something different. Think outside the box. When I got into the tech industry, people thought I was rough around the edges. I don't know how, but they thought I was rough around the edges. So they're like, oh, yeah, if you're going to go and meet people that want to give you $100 million for your tech company, you should wear a suit. I'm like, fuck that. Please. Who wears a suit in technology? Who does that? If you look, Mark Zuckerberg, all those guys, big shout out to Angelo, we back on. If you look at Mark Zuckerberg and all those guys, they don't wear suits. Do they? No. They only wear suits. Or they wear like a blazer, especially what I've observed. When they go in public on the New York Stock Exchange, when they hitting the bell, when they're about to be a billionaire overnight, that's the only time you see them in a suit. Because that's the attire. That's it. At the end of the day, you have to do what you feel is good and you feel what's in your best interest. If people are coming to you and saying, yo, nah, do it like this or do it like that, you can listen to them, But if it's not working for you, try something different. Nobody gave me the blueprint. Straight up. Nobody gave me the blueprint on how to run up on these artists. All I knew is I knew I was good at something, and I knew that they might need what I was good at. And if you're good at MCing, singing, marketing, whatever, then let people know. Be as aggressive and be relentless. Relentless. Tear the heads off of everybody's neck. You know? Period. Because nobody's going to give you anything in this world. You know? If you're a woman, you're penalized. If you're a certain body type, you're penalized. If you're a certain skin color, you're penalized. If you come from a certain part of the world, economically, you're penalized. So, what do you have to lose? Nothing. Just go out and get it. You know? So, at the end of the day, it's all about what makes you happy. You know? Pat yourself on the back. I always keep saying this. Every time I do a live feed, I'll always keep reminding you guys, pat yourself on the back. Even if you're not in the industry, even if you know that you've been responsible for yourself first and everybody else that you care about second, pat yourself on the back. You know, nobody's out here to pat you on the back. You should learn how to pat yourself on the back, period. And have that, oh, well, I did it. And next, you know. So, you know, we got a question finally. I was waiting for questions to come in, guys, because I got more stories, but I won't be on that long. So Lisa asked me, you know, as a filmmaker, how does she promote, you know, herself, especially her scripts? Well, it's fairly simple. Who is your demographic, Lisa? Your demographic is people that would want to fund your scripts, right? Simple as pie. We got shit like Google now. You can search so many production companies that are out there, you know, that accept scripts. You know, and if they don't accept unsolicited material, then go another route. Find out who owns those companies, the production companies, and get at them. And if they got secretaries, get at them too. Because at the end of the day, if you're knocking 1,000 doors and 1,000 doors don't answer, I guarantee that 1,001 door will eventually open up and answer. It happened to me. So you get an account with, you know, websites like IMDb Pro. You register, subscribe. It's $20 a month. And they give you a list of all the production companies. You know? Her second question, guys, is, do I show my short films as a way to show what I can do? Yes, of course. Anything you've done that's tangible, you show them. You know, but if you have a script, or if you have 7 scripts or 4 scripts or 2 scripts, let them know this is what you do. Somebody will listen to you. There are companies out there. There are finance firms out there that literally and only back women financially. You know, they're out there. Their stipulation is we only take female script writers, female producers. We back females only. There are financiers out there, you know, and they are, you know, they are Googleable. You like that word? Googleable? Yeah. So, you know, that's my advice to you, Lisa. You know, Rasan, Mr. Murray says, what about people like me who produce under major producers and been schooled by Tony Maserati and interned and engineered at the biggest studio in New York at that time? Will you mentor a dude like me? And he got more. He's saying some more stuff. Oh, he says, will you mentor a dude like me? I would love to soak up your knowledge. Well, you know, at the end of the day, if time permits, you know, I have no problem, you know, giving up some time, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm going to get it back. I believe in the universe. What you give out is what you're going to get back. So if I give you some mentorship and you become my mentee, then, you know, somebody's going to do it for my daughter. So that's the way I look at it. You know, I'm not a selfish individual. I'm just arrogant, aggressive, and that's it. So if people want to misconstrue my arrogancy and my aggressiveness for being cocky and selfish, oh, well, too bad. You know, so to answer your question, Mr. Murray, yeah, that's what it is. You know, Lisa asked again, is it bragging if I say I did with little to no money scripts to short film? No, it's not bragging. Listen, I want everybody to really look at my brown lips, carefully. You must brag as much as possible. Like I said in my other video, I recommend that you guys keep posting who you are. I told you, Lisa, a while ago, I said, post who you are. Let people know who you are. People want to know. We live in a day and age now where people are on Facebook, on social media, looking and saying, oh, okay, that's what Lisa Stokes do. She a script writer. That's what's up. She did X, Y, and Z. That's what's up. You know, I post my I post my bio all the time on my wall on Facebook. Because I need people, especially the new people that don't know me, they weren't with me back in 1997, 98, 99, 2000, all the way to 2012. These are new people. They don't know me. But when they hear me talk and they read my bio, they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, homie knows something. Yeah, I know a lot. And I take pride in knowing a lot. You know? So, brag. Like what I learned from Master P, he shoved No Limit Records down New York music consumers' throats by having it spinning on all the radio stations, Hot 97, 105. He kept spinning his records. And at the end of the day, we didn't like it, but we started to love it. My point is this: if you keep bragging, and let people know who you are, that you're the best, then nobody can take that away from you. I let everybody know. Okay, Netflix is dope. Hulu's all right. But I'm the best at the end of the day. Why? Because I'm going to give you what you need. I'm going to give you what you want. Period. And that's what I learned by working for people like the Bad Boy Empire. People and groups and empires like Def Jam. You know, No Limit. Cash Money. You know, whether I work for them for free or I got paid, don't matter. I learned. I took something away from those experiences. Then when I got into Hollywood, I'm working for production companies and I'm learning. And so I said, you know what? Those are, you know, notches on my belt of experiences. So now I got to tell people, yo, I'm the best because I thrive to be the best. This is real rap. So brag on, guys. If you're an engineer, if you worked for the big dogs back in those days, you let people know who you work for. Make people respect the shit that you did for yourself. Make people understand and respect that you grinded, that you ate noodles, a cup of noodles, that you froze just to get into the club to meet that artist, you know, that you relentlessly and you tirelessly sent emails out to thousands and hundreds and thousands rather of, you know, opportunities. Let them know. Why? Because nobody gives a shit if you're just there. You send a friend request to somebody like, okay, well, who are you? I get friend requests all the time. And I'm like, well, who are you? What do you do? Okay. Blah, blah, blah. You know, everybody's on I don't want to tell people what I'm doing. Well, why are you on social networks? You know? Lisa asked, well, my website is launching soon she said, my website is launching soon, rather. How do I promote? Well, Lisa, I told you, simple as pie. Simple. Go back to the video. Rewind this. Identify your demographic. Whoever the demographic is, whether it's a production company or film financiers, and you send a link of your website to them, and there you go. And that's one demographic. And then whoever the other demographics are, whether it's general people, regular people like your friends on Facebook or film festivals, you already know. Market to them. That's how you promote. Whether you have an Instagram, you screenshot it. And I'm giving away these jewels because it doesn't affect me. It doesn't hurt me at the end of the day. You know? I know you're taking notes, Lisa. You know, I'm just being funny. But anyway, that's what you do. And you keep posting on Instagram. You post 3 times in a row. You know, you post every 3 hours, every 6 hours. You shove your brand, you shove your services, you shove your creativity down anybody's throat that wants to follow you on social media. They want to follow you, right? Well, then shove it down. You see me, I tag everybody all the time. Everybody knows who's watching me. I tag them. Because I want you to know what's going on. You know, her other question is, do I get representation? Of course you get representation. And even if you're an artist, it's always good to have representation, but have representation when the time is right. Build your stuff up. You know, if you're a script writer, a filmmaker like Lisa Stokes, or if you're an artist, you know, like Biggie was, if you're an artist, whether you're on the level of Biggie or you're on the level of Scrams, don't matter. Whether you're a DJ, don't matter. You know, you need presence online. You need your Instagram, you need your Facebook like page, and you need to start getting everybody going. You need your YouTube channel, everything. You need your own Wikipedia. Yeah, get your Wikipedia on, guys. You need all those elements so people could take you seriously. If not, why y'all doing it? Sit your ass down and stay home. Don't do anything. Just sit down, stay home, watch, you know, whatever. Dancing with the Stars or some other bullshit like America's Got Talent. Whatever. And don't do anything. And damn sure don't bother me. Well, yo, this is what I'm doing. And I look at your profile and you haven't posted in like 3 days, or you haven't posted in 8 days, but you want it that bad? Big shout out to Gary Davis. You know? Oh, Lisa, I don't know. Is this a class? You know, I don't know if it's a class. Big shout out to Tammy. How you doing, Tammy? Tammy Singleton. I don't know if this is a class, guys. All I'm doing is I'm giving you a piece of my information from whence I came and how I was raised by the village of hip hop producers, executives, and industry moguls, you know, and what I took away from it and how it nurtured me and how I used various different experiences and elements to get to the point where I am in my life and my career in a whole different industry, which is technology. You know, you guys need to, get your act together, straight up. You know that social media is a big thing nowadays. Then get it going. God bless you too, Soraya. You know, get your social media popping. You know, and don't be cheap with your career. Don't be cheap. You know, make that money. Get that money to pay the proper people to push you. You know, get that person to physically keep talking about you online, like I did back in 1999, where I had 100 kids. I had 100 kids talking about different artists on AOL chat rooms. They paid me to do that. You know. So, what else can I say? Anybody have any questions? If anyone has any questions, now is the time, because I don't know if I'm going to get back on Facebook Live, you know, in the next 24 hours. I might do it again next week and everything. I'll talk about how I got into the film industry and how I rocked out in Hollywood. But you know, I just wanted to be that person, you know, to give you a piece of information, you know, about how I came up and the various different dynamics that I learned and the various different nuances that I had to learn about the industry. You know, every industry, guys, has a certain level of politics. Every industry has a certain level of ethics, you know, and you guys have to truly understand that. But it doesn't mean that you can't be aggressive, you know. So we got a question. Davina says, what do you think labels look for in artists, talent or branding? Well, that's a broad question. She says, her question again is, what do you think labels look for in artists? Well, big shout out to Cody. What do you think labels look for in artists? Well, now the game has changed, guys. Labels look for in artists, obviously branding. You know, they look for talent, but you know, it's 80% branding and marketing now, and it's 20% talent nowadays. So now you got people like Chance the Rapper and people like Macklemore that, you know, have changed the game. And you got independent artists getting Grammys. So when I was coming up, and I'll be brief about it, it was all about independence. Selling your tapes and CDs from your trunk like Master P did and Cash Money did. And they kept their masters and they kept their barcodes and they was able to get, you know, a P&D deal with a label worth $30 million. Master P got $75 million. It was crazy. Nowadays, the same premise, but everything is online. So labels don't only look for artists that are popping on YouTube with views, but they're also looking to see, can you sell records? Can you sell records? Artists, stop, please. And, you know, I really want to I don't care if it's free. I don't care. Stop giving your shit up on SoundCloud. Like, what the fuck is wrong with hip-hop artists now? You're giving it for sound. Oh, I want to get on. I want to get on. You're never going to get on. You don't have the work ethic to be like a Chance or a Macklemore. And if you did, because you got a little money, you're not using that money to get the right people to keep you relevant on these social platforms. So stop giving it up. You know, stop giving it up, literally. On SoundCloud, if you're gonna give your and what I try to tell artists all the time, if you're gonna give your shit up on SoundCloud, we used to have things. Clive Davis, who was the CEO of Arista, him and L.A. Reid, you know, they used to give us, you know, the guys that marketed Usher and TLC and everybody, you know, they used to give us these snippet CDs and snippet tapes, and these were songs that were cut short. So it would be you know, the intro, the hook, and then the verse, and then the song would fade out, and that was a snippet. So my advice is for you guys to go back to that. Go back to snippets and put it on SoundCloud. Make the listener, the potential consumer, the potential fan want more of your art. Period. And redirect them from your SoundCloud back to your iTunes page or your website so they can buy your stuff. Stop giving it out for free, because the label's looking at you like y'all are stupid. Excuse me, guys. This is hip hop. So I'm gonna talk like if we were in a board meeting with Russell Simmons and Puff. The exact words would go something a little like this: stop being a stupid motherfucker and giving your shit out for free. Don't be a stupid motherfucker and give your shit out for free. That's exactly how they used to talk in the board meetings. It was funny, you know, screaming, "What the fuck are y'all doing?" You know, don't give your shit out for free is my point, guys. If you're an artist, do not give that shit out for free. Period. The end. Okay? Don't do it. If you're a music artist, don't give your shit out for free. Period. If you're a filmmaker, okay, have people sign, you know, non-disclosures to see your film or your scripts. Don't give it out for free, guys. You know? If you give it out for free, then you deserve to get fucked with no grease. Period. The end. I had to say it. This is hip hop. This is a totally different type of live video. You know? And that's just real rap. I'm a real dude. You know? I was told by certain moguls, listen, they used to tell me, listen, little nigga, if I don't go fucking platinum, you fired. That's how your favorite moguls that smile, you should tell people like me. If I don't go platinum, your motherfuckers is fired. Y'all better get my shit correct. So what I'm telling you guys, if you're an artist, don't give your shit out for free on bullshit ass SoundCloud. That's crazy. The labels want to know, can you sell records? You know? It's just straight. I love you too, Soraya, Angelique. You know? It's just real shit. We got another, I'm sorry, guys. You guys are commenting, which is cool. We got another question. Cody says, I'm using my extra money. Wait, no, Cody, you said something else, right? Didn't you ask me a question? Okay, here we go. Cody says, doing film production for a boat company, and now I have started utilizing drones for real estate as well. It's a starting point. Yeah, Cody, that's dope. Thinking outside the box. That's beautiful. I'm proud of you, bro. He also said, I'm using my extra money to reinvest in my side business. His question is, how can I get information on my music production without going to night school? So busy, I don't have the time. Well, Cody, you got to make the time, you know? And correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm answering it wrong, but you asked, how can I get information on my music production without going to night school? I don't even know how to answer that. Can you re-ask the question? Because I don't understand where you're coming from. Give me a little bit more specifics. I truly would appreciate it. And that's Cody. And then we have Tatiana says, will you mentor me too? Sure, no problem. You know, yeah. Listen, Mr. Murray says, I'm giving you guys the real. This is all I know, guys. You know, I came up really, really hard, rough, rugged, and I'm not talking about from the hood, seeing 8 people get murdered before the age of 15. That's another story. I'm talking about in hip hop. I've seen people lose their lives, lose their dignity, lose their sexuality because they didn't understand the various different nuances and dynamics, or they did and they just didn't give a fuck. At the end of the day, guys, if you're going to be in this music business, you got to read my lips clearly. Nobody gives a flying shit. You got to go out and get it. You got to get it. You got to get it. You got to aggressively put it down. You got to let the labels know. Everybody in the label, listen, I can sell records. The reason why Chance the Rapper is where he's at because he didn't have to tell the labels because he didn't care about them. He just said, fuck it, I'm going to sell my own records online and my own merchandise. He makes money off of selling his merchandise. You can do it too. But don't give your shit out on SoundCloud of all places. And for artists out there, stop trying to like go up behind major brands, that you and I know aren't really going to help sell your records. If you got 5,000 people or 500 people on that's in your friends list on Facebook, you hit all those motherfuckers up and be like, yo, my album's out. Go cop it. And make them screenshot that they bought it and send it to you. That's when you know you got real followers. That's when you know you got real fans, real people that support you. That's what I did for Lil Wayne. I made people for his clothing line. I made people in 2012 screenshot in different countries. Screenshot that they bought the clothes, the receipts from Macy's, Dillard's, and Zoomies in America and places in different countries where they were selling real rap. Why? Because at the end of the day, you know, in my mind, where I come from, if you really follow me, then you're gonna pay, you're gonna support. And if you're an artist and you're an independent artist or you're an independent label, you make sure you implement that type of you make sure you implement that type of movement of consumers and fans that are so diehard that they will tattoo, your name, tattoo your logo to their arm. That's the type of movement you want, So, there it is. We got another question from Eric. He said, what do you think is the best strategies from promoting a released EP for an R&B artist? Oh, wow. You getting it in, I'll give you small. I'll give you, $300 worth of a $300 answer, Eric. Very simple for an R&B artist because I've done it for Mary and a lot of people, Whitney and Usher. Simple. In this day and age, get a Twitter account and create a database of all of the R&B radio stations that have Twitter accounts that are live, meaning that are tweeting on a daily basis and at them niggas all day long. And then they'll start to retweet and their followers will start to follow your R&B artists. So there's a $300 answer. I can't give you a $20,000 answer. I give you a $300 answer for free. So that's the best way you can, that's one of the best ways in terms of a strategy you can promote an R&B artist on one of the best microblogging sites, which is Twitter on earth. Now, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram is total shit because you want that artist, you want the consumers in Twitter sphere in the Twitter sphere to be redirected and either retweet, be redirected to your website, their iTunes, and buy records. So that's the best, in my opinion, way to promote an R&B artist. Cody, we got Cody. Cody said, I need to create a copyright-free stock music for my film and video. Oh, he said I play instruments. Okay. He goes, he's producing everything from trap to piano. Any plugs to online? Wait. He says any plugs to online courses or sources? Do I have any plugs, Cody, to online courses or sources? Listen, the best for producers, the best advice I can give you, honestly, is to go to Google, search who's at the top of their game in terms of taking some online courses, and then going to YouTube and searching on YouTube to see videos. Because from what you told me, you don't have time, right, Cody? So, the best way you can make time is if you're on YouTube. You know, so while you're in between transit from one job or one destination or one career to the next, you know, you could look at these YouTube videos and kind of get your study on in between. So that's the best advice I can give you at this particular point, because you said you didn't have time. You got to make the time. International holla. Oh, okay. All right, bro. International holla. I'll hit you, or hit me later. Big shout out to International holla. Bill, we on it. Bill Oxford is here. Okay, Eric, you're saying what? My artist currently has a video on YouTube with 30,000 views and almost 2 million streams. I want to broaden my horizons with him. Okay, that's good. You know, having 30,000 views is good. Having 2 million streams is good. But at the end of the day, bro, having 2 million streams and having 30,000, Biggie is moving. Sorry, guys. Biggie's like, yo, stop talking. Stop giving up the game. Having 30,000 views and 2 million streams is good. But I mean, I don't know too much. I don't know literally what your whole story is. I don't know if the artist is independent or what you guys are doing. But, you know, my advice to you is, you know, if you're independent, you have to, and you should start selling records. You know, 30,000 views is nice, but, you know, it's good. But if you're not taking those numbers and making it make sense to a record label, you know, then it's not going to make sense. But I will give you this gem, Mr. Eric Lett. It's very, very simple. Billboard and a couple other big major tracking brands for music have passed a law about 2 years back that every 1,500 views on YouTube equals 1 album sale. So there you go. That's a gem. So take that and run with that. So you got 30,000 views. Figure out how many albums you sold as per Billboard. You know? So, and the only reason why I know this is because my older brother, my big homie, you know, Lance Pope, he's been at ASCAP for 20 years, the executive. So I'm giving you facts right now. So, and that's good. If you're selling, Eric, you're selling the EP on all outlets, that's good. You know, make sure you take half of that money and leave it in the bank. You take the other half and reinvest it back into his marketing, whether it's social media or out of home advertising. You know, I advise you to make as much money as you can and do a commercial and throw that shit up on actual television. You know, that's the next level, you know. Yeah, that's what's popping, you know. You're welcome, Eric, you know. So, anyway, shout out to everybody that has shared my videos. Oh, I got cousin Ebony. Hey, Ebony, what's going on? How's the baby doing? I just basically wanted to give you some information. Once again, guys, you know, I do this out of sheer kindness and love for music and the kindness and love of you know, of the movement. You know what I mean? So, we got more. We got more coming. Here we go. My boy Bill Oxford on. He said, I say if you're an indie, learn what a major label does for a signed artist. Get a team around you to play different positions and duties that a major would do for you, and don't label chase. Well, I hear you, Bill, but I disagree. I think that if you're an indie, you should label chase, and I'll tell you why. Because if you're an indie and you're selling records, not everybody's going to be like a Macklemore. Not everybody's going to be like a Chance the Rapper. There's only 2 that made it with all these indie artists out here. So I think that if you're an independent label and you're an independent artist, that you should label chase on some level, but you should label chase when you start selling records, because you still could go get a development deal. You still can go get a label deal, you know, as a record label, and use their money and their pull and their connections and their publicity department, their marketing department to move your needle even further, like Cash Money No Limit did, like Jay Prince from Rap A Lot Records did, you know, like Rockefeller did when Rockefeller got their P&D deal with Def Jam, you know, and they were independent, you know, when Jay-Z got off that fuckboy deal with Freeze Records. So, you know, I do encourage you, if you're an independent artist, to sell your units. on your own and to go to a major record label and say, hey, I want a label deal, or I want a press and distribution deal, period. And let them give you that service money, up front, like they did Cash Money. Real rap, So I need everybody to understand that, cut all this bullshit out about the labels are coming to rape you for everything you got. Because at the end of the day, that's the business, period. Shit. Even if you're an independent artist, you're going to get raped from the promoter. On some level, it's just a fact. People do get had. But it's up to you to get as much money as you can out of the deal, so that, the wound won't hurt as much. Because everybody gets had. Everybody gets had on every single level, whether you're an independent artist or you're signed to a label. You get had. Nobody can tell me they didn't get had. You can't. You cannot tell. People get had. They may not tell you, but people get had. I got had. Everybody gets had in the music business on some level, but it creates a certain type of mentality where now you know how to fight. You know how to move within a room full of wolves, lichens, vampires, and fucking gargoyles. So, just know that you can get had. But if you're selling records and you're struggling, you're about to run out of money, you only got allotted $50,000 for the label, go out to the record labels. Go to the majors. Say, yo, listen, we sold 10,000 units. Give us a deal. Labels they're gonna talk, because nowadays labels want to know if you can do it. So you're welcome, Eric. Eric said thanks, So yeah, Eric, man, no problem. So anyway, guys, I did another 2-hour stretch with you guys. I didn't think I was going to do 2 hours. I thought I was going to do like an hour. But I started off on a slow note, talking about some stories. But anyway, the next live feed I do will probably cover my maturation in the film industry, working as a Hollywood talent manager, and I'm doing all these music videos when the Video Vixen game started to get big. Yep, I did that real well. So big shout out to everybody that gave me a shot with their music videos, Chris Brown and all those guys. So any questions? If you guys need help, hit me up. If you guys got budgets, definitely hit me up, because I'm not going to give everything out for free. I got a whole team that is vicious on marketing and promotion. And if you support me, then go check out my website, ovnio.tv. Right now, we took it down because we're putting some new channels up. That's ovnio.tv. I will be going public, in a couple of years, just like Snapchat. I will be a billionaire, and I don't want nobody to come to me when I'm a billionaire saying, oh, I want to buy stock, because I done told y'all already you could buy stock in my privately held company, and that's it. So if you're interested, DM me privately on Instagram, ovnio.tv at Instagram, or here on Facebook, and I'll send you some information. It's very, very simple to buy stock in my company. And I just want all my peoples that follow me to get rich with me. All right, guys? So I'm going to sign off. Salute. Let me fix Biggie real quick. Bow. Jose, you just joined on. Jose, I'm getting off, bro. See Biggie? Greatest rapper that ever lived. Rap artist, MC. Of course, Pockets too, and a couple others, but this is the MC that I like. So, I hope that this 2-hour live feed was beneficial to everybody. Thank you, Jose. I appreciate that. If you have artists and you want your artists' music videos to stream on my cable channels on my cable site Ovnio, then hit me up. I wish everybody a successful month, successful year, successful summer, and successful winter. You're quite welcome, Tatiana. Kira, you're quite welcome. Sarai, you're quite welcome. Yeah, Tupac was deep. He was deep. Every artist is deep, but Tupac was a rap artist. To me, he wasn't an MC. Well, I take that back. He was an MC. Because MC means Masters of Ceremony. He was. It's just that it was two different styles. So Biggie was deep also. So was Nas. So was a bunch of people. Pun was deep. You know, all these lyricists are, DMX is deep. You know, but I just want to say thank you to all who has shared this live video in real time. I got 7 minutes with y'all because I'm gonna get off because you know I stretch it out to 2 hours. But just do your homework, guys. Do your homework. Get out there. Push, push, push. You know, do your homework. Study. You know, get as much knowledge as you can. You know, hey cousin Ebony, you can rewind the video and see it at a later time. It's 2 hours. You know, just get it in. You know, if you guys are interested in buying stock in my startup tech company, my cable TV site Avnio, you can private message me. You know, DM me or whatever, and I'll give it to you. Because you know, like I stated to you guys before, I will be going public. And I don't want anybody to come back to me on my Facebook blowing my shit up like, oh my God, can I buy stock now? Not doing it. I'm not going to respond because I'm going to be somewhere in the universe, in a spaceship, like them dudes at Snapchat who made $4 billion overnight on Thursday morning. That last Thursday just passed. So, you know, I'm glad I showed you some pictures, you know, of me in my street team days with my crew, 800 deep. 1,200 deep, me in the hood, and sorry guys, oops, and that's basically, and yes, I will be going to IPO. I will be going IPO. That stands for initial public offering. But before I go IPO, I want to sell stock to certain shareholders that understand the movement of what Avnio is all about. So once again, if people are interested, I appreciate everybody who's on, who has bought stock in my company. And I appreciate everybody who's listening. And I appreciate everybody who's sharing. God bless you all. You know. Oh, Justin said, what it do? What it do, cuzzo? What's poppin'? You know, I'm trying to drop some jewels to a couple of people on Facebook that's deem it necessary to hear your cousin speak. So I'm doing this because a lot of executives don't do it in the music industry. A lot of executives in technology will never do it. And a lot of executives in fashion as well as film don't do it either. So I figure I'd just give you some of my gems and my jewels that helped me along the way, you know. So, oh, your daughter said hello? Okay, tell her I said hi, Soraya. Yeah, guys. This is me, and I'm gonna sign off because we got 4 minutes, but I'm a little beat and famished. I'm gonna go eat, get my eat on. Biggie's the best. You guys are the best. Do your shit. Get off your ass. Do what you need to do. Don't take no prisoners. Push, 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 and don't rely on anybody but yourself. Take odd jobs so you can make more money, so you can pursue your dreams and keep it going. And on that note, big shout out to Michael Silas, shareholder. On that note, I will kiss the baby. I will kiss Isabella. On that note, your boy is out. Billionaire status. Let's get it, guys. And I'm going to press the finish button down here. And you too, Angelique. Have a blessed night. I'm out, y'all. All right, cousin.